Hello and welcome to SITREP. I'm Jeff Smith. This week we take a look at a couple of state lawmakers who are also veterans. We also get to sit down with entrepreneur Bob Luddy to see how veterans can take an idea and grow a successful business from it. But we'll start with State Representative and Army veteran Holly Grange. Now, Holly, how'd you get started in your service?
Well, I come from a military family. As a matter of fact, I went to high school in Fayetteville. My father was a brigade commander in the 82nd at Fort Bragg at the time. He was a West Point graduate. And I always thought that I'd want to pursue a military career, so I was looking at ROTC, but I graduated from high school in '78, and in 1976, they allowed the first women into the service academy, so I decided to pursue that.
Following your dad's footsteps,
Absolutely.
went to West Point as well. Mm-hmm. How was your service after that? You were in the Army for multiple years.
I was in the Army for almost 9 years. I spent the first 5 of those years at Fort Bragg. I was a lieutenant and captain in the Army Corps of Engineers. I was a bridge builder. I made maps. I did engineer planning for 18th Airborne Corps, and I also was a company commander for a unit that built the base camps for 18th Airborne Corps headquarters.
You transitioned to the reserve side of things as well.
I did. I did not serve in the reserves actively. I just stayed on the Ready Reserve to be called up if necessary. At that point in time, my husband took us to Europe twice, and the second time we were there, I got a letter saying, in the event of mobilization, you have 2 hours to report to Heidelberg. And it was 1997 at the time, and I said, you know, I don't think I need to do this anymore. I had 2 children under the age of 10, so I wanted to make sure that I was there for them if anything happened.
That's an interesting point. A lot of the decisions you make now as a legislator, you have to think about not just the soldiers that are at our bases, but the whole family that's around the veteran and the soldier as well. How do you make sure that you keep veterans and their families in mind?
It's easy for me because I've been both. So I like to think that we need to make things easier for military families. Some of the legislation that I've supported has to do with transferring licenses from one state to another for certain specialties or occupations. Physical therapy comes to mind. That was one of the bills that I co-sponsored. Making it easier for veterans to get resources, helping families adjust, scholarships for young men and women whose parents have served and may not have come back from harm's way. It's always in the forefront of my mind. I'm also an Army mom. I have a son who's an Army captain, so.
It goes, the whole family tradition continues.
Absolutely, yes, it does.
Now, obviously, one of the things that always comes up about legislature or any kind of lawmaking capabilities, how do you work with the people across the aisle? Because normally Republicans, Democrats don't always mix on a lot of things. Veterans and military-related items, I guess they shouldn't have an aisle.
They don't have an aisle. We work together very well. The military is a nonpartisan issue to all of us. We don't have that many of us. There are only 22, I believe, legislators in the House that are veterans, and only 2 women. And it's important that we work together because North Carolina is a military state. Not only do we have a very large military population, we have a large veteran population.